Too many people prefer to follow, to worship, to be subservient to a cruel, murderous, maniacal God. Not God, an ET God, claiming to be God. Remember, the bad guys pretend to be good guys, and that's one of them. Yahweh is one of those examples of a bad guy or alien races. Elohim is plural. Elohim beings are posing as creator God, certainly not acting like creator God. This is where we get the Anunnaki patriarchy from. Patriarchy came from the Anunnaki races, bringing us false creeds. Now you're following the Anunnaki's representation of a god. But you realize there's no such thing as plural gods. The whole pagan idea is a distortion. And these examples of monotheistic gods are not the creator. And it's not an opinion. There is something universal concepts, you understand, not limited to Earth and its Earth's human distortions. Like the law of one, the sacred universal law of one. You don't get pantheons of ET gods with one God, one creator God. That is, exist within omnichristos love, baby. This Yahweh ET God calls itself cruel, calls itself burning angry, is not the creator. It's an impostor. Out of tens of thousands of impostor gods being worshipped on planet Earth. Because a lot of these religions believe in more than one God. Like Hinduism is a perfect example. You guys, that's already your first red flag. There's only one creator, God. The word creator and God are synonymous, but they take the word God and twist it into multiple gods. That doesn't even make sense when you actually think about it from your heart. Does that even make sense that there's a whole bunch of countless gods? That's the first thing. The first red flag is that there's more than one. No, there is not. There's only one creator. What do you think people use the word creator for, generally speaking? It's the entity that created everything. Okay, so why is there a bunch of beings calling themselves creator, calling themselves God? That's the first red flag, multiple gods. First red flag. Second red flag is that these gods are angry, they're murderous, they sacrifice, they demand blood ritual sacrifices. Even Yahweh demands a sacrifice, demands blood, even in the Passover. It's all about blood, baby, to these beings. It's diabolical. And this is exactly what the Anunnaki have brought to planet Earth. They have brought us gods to be worshipped. Not just Sumerian gods, even though that's what they're tied to. Who do you think keeps on playing the role of these pantheon of gods? A pantheon of Viking gods, a pantheon of Hindu gods. Same horrible characteristics. And so many millions, billions of humans accept it into their heart and mind, these horrible characteristics of these beings. These so-called gods, not gods, there's only one of those. These so-called gods are worse than human beings. They're worse than you or I or some evil human. They're worse than evil humans. They're much worse, but they're being worshipped as gods. These negative, dark, twisted ET gods from human religions are not divine beings. They certainly don't act like it. They certainly don't talk like it. They actually behave like spiritually immature beings. They are worse than humans, including your Father God Yahweh, Jehovah, Jehovian Anunnaki ETs. That's where Yahweh comes from, you guys. That's where the Islamic, Jewish, Abrahamic source is. Jehovian Anunnaki, talked about in great detail in the Voyager's books, in the Emerald Order teachings. Your Father God is a sinister alien extraterrestrial from another dimension, specifically a collective. Many such ET gods, because that's exactly what all of your gods, thank you for that, Holy Ones, all of your gods being worshipped on planet Earth are ET gods, not divine spiritual beings or guardians. All patriarchal gods especially. They're not gods. They're ETs claiming to be gods, giving you Bibles and scriptures and sacred, not sacred. Many such ET gods are described in the spiritual texts themselves. It's not up for opinion. It's not a debate, because God, your gods, describe themselves in these holy books. Describe themselves. They're being described in these holy books as burning angry. Are they not? It's in passages of the Bible. For example, Yahweh being described as cruel, being described as not just regular anger, homie, burning anger, volatile, deceitful, vengeful, murderous, including genocide of entire nations of men, women, children. It's in the Bible. This Yahweh, E.T. God, wiped out several races. In your mind, it was judgment. It was they needed to be murdered. You see what I'm saying? You see what you're promoting and agreeing with, creating a contract with, a blood ritual contract with? A lot of these gods, alien god, ET gods, are kidnappers, are rapists. They can cause destruction, chaos, war. Sound familiar? They are jealous. You know how spiritually immature jealousy is, but these beings are just acting and behaving jealous with jealousy. They're hateful. Is that spiritually evolved to be hateful? They create fear. Fear God. You're commanded to be in fear. What happens to a being when it's in fear? What does that happen to you energetically? These ET gods, not God, these ET false gods demand sacrifice, demand subservience, demand blind worship, demand obedience. This is not Creator God. We talk about God and Jesus on this channel, but not from the distorted religion's point of view, who are worshiping these phantom beings, fallen angelic beings, bad guys pretending to be good guys, pretending to be gods when there's no such thing as plural gods. There's no such thing as plural creators. There's only one of those. This is where the sacred universal law of one comes from. One God. There's only one source. This is why we call Creator Source. You can say Source God. You can just say God.